our most respected dignitaries on the dais, and my dear students, a very good afternoon to one and all present over here. On behalf of our Sengundar Engineering College and our Department of Mechanical Engineering, I would like to welcome our Secretary and Correspondent, Professor A. Baladandapani sir, our beloved Principal, Dr. C. Venkatesh sir, and IAC Vice President, and IAC Convener and IAC Coordinator, and my dear students, a very warm welcome to all. Today is our chief guest, Mr. S. Jaikumar sir. He is going to explain about the webinar explaining business, marketing, and entrepreneurship program. So I would like to welcome you all once again. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Okay. So today I'm going to present a webinar on exploring business, marketing, and entrepreneurship. So this is to get an idea about what is business, what is marketing, and what is entrepreneurship. So it gives a picture about how you have to do the business and how you have to do marketing and how you can become an entrepreneurship. Okay. The purpose and functions of business is our first aim to do business. That is, the purpose of business is to fulfill the needs and wants of the customer. So needs, without knowing the needs and wants of the customer, if you are producing the goods, that goods cannot be sold in the market. That means it cannot be most profitable one. So that goods should be consumable by the consumers. That is, consumer use those goods and services, or consumers purchase goods and services, or businesses sell goods, services, or both to the customers. Which means that goods includes clothing, car, computer, CD, etc. Whereas services includes hairdressers, dry cleaners, lawn care, babysitting, like that. So the main purpose of any business is to make profit maximization or wealth maximization. Even though it is a non-profit business organization, also look for a profit in order to run the business organization. That is, for the materials, then resources, human resources, they have to pay for the human resources, like that, so that they also keep a meager margin of profit. The main aim of the purpose of the business is to produce the goods and services that should be consumed by the consumers. Either they produce goods or services or both. The motive to start the business is primary motive is profit, that is desire to make money. So they see opportunity to make money in the marketplace. So the main aim of any business organization is profit motive, and the opportunity to meet the needs and wants of the customers, and opportunity to increase the competition in the marketplace, and then business or investment opportunities for individuals, that is, in order to fulfill the future needs and wants. Future income, also keeping in mind of earning money in the future. Today they invest in business, and they try to make profits. So these are the main motive to start business. One is to explore the market, other one is to meet the needs and wants of the customers, other one is profit and to earn for a future income. Next is the functions of business. So there are different functions of business are there. So the main function is accounting, that is recording and reporting financial activities and transactions, which includes paying bills, collecting money from customers, paying taxes, preparing employees' payroll checks, reconciliation of bank statements, investing in cash, and purchasing inventory. So there are different functions, not only this function, accounting function, they perform different functions. Next one is management. So they make sure that the entire organization meets its goals and obligations. The main aim or entire goal or aim of the organization is to run the business effectively and efficiently. So that is the effective works with people in the organization, that is utilizing the entire workforce towards the organizational goal. Next one is the use the available resources to accomplish the organizational goals. So for the functions of management, they need men, material, money, and management. Next functions of marketing is functions of business is marketing. So in order to identify the needs and wants of the customer, they need marketing. So that ensures the needs and wants of the consumers. So through marketing, they satisfy the needs and wants of the consumers through the exchange. So this marketing involves 4 P's. They are product, next one is price, third one is the placement and promotion. So product here includes the product features, and the price, which includes the establishing the price of the product. So whether skimming pricing or penetrating, there are different pricing strategies are there. According to the product life cycle and business stage, they keep the pricing strategy. Next one is the placement of the products. So they keep the products in the minds of the customer, that is placing the product in attractive and convenient sales location. And then the fourth P is promotion, that is the which includes advertising. So these are the 4 P's where marketing is based on. Next functions of business is, in today's technological world, information technology plays a vital role in the business. The uses of technology to share knowledge, facts, and data to others, that is the co-workers, customers, and suppliers. And the examples are maintaining the email accounts, maintaining of software applications, and then maintenance of process system, maintaining hardwares for all technologies used. So today it is an unavoidable thing in the business. So e-business, virtual banking, so like that everything becomes an on electronic mode. Next functions of business is operations. So this is considered as the back office, which involves behind the screen paperwork required to complete all transactions, and then it is found in both service and in the manufacturing sector. So operation includes the back office work, which are the paperwork required to complete the transactions, which is found in both service and the manufacturing sector. Next functions of business is human resource. Human resource including the staffing of the people. So identifying the right person for the right job, placing those person in the right time is the main functions of business. That is manages people, relation with the company, helps workers to develop the skills and knowledge needed to be successful on the job, and responsible for hiring and firing the employees, selects employees benefits and enrolls all the employees in the benefits, which includes the insurance, retirement, etc., and helps employees to pursue educational opportunities. So the previously human resource is considered as the machine, but nowadays human resources are considered as the assets of the business. So these are the various functions of business we have seen earlier. So why the purpose of the business we have seen, and then we have seen the different functions of the business. Now we can see what are the different types of business organization that is prevailing in the economy. First type of business organizations are sole proprietorships. Sole proprietorship is a one-man show. So owned by the one man who brings his own money and investing this money in the business, who takes the risk and rewards out of the business. When one person can bring the capital and invest in a business, that business is called as sole proprietorships. So the examples are different. All the petty shops, whatever you are seeing in the market, those all sole proprietorships. When a single person owns the business is called as sole proprietorships. So the advantage, when you see the advantage, it is easy to start. Owner is his or his own boss. He himself is a boss. He is also is a worker. So he keeps all the profits what comes out of that business. The next, the disadvantage of sole proprietorship is owner must pay for the everything needed for the business, and it is difficult to obtain capital needed to start. So one person, what is capable capital he can bring, only that much capital only he can bring. So beyond that he cannot bring. So the owner might lack business skills, and it is an unlimited liability. So unlimited liability means when any loss happens, his private property is liable for that loss. Beyond the business property, his private assets, land, building also liable. That is called as unlimited liability. So the owner has full responsibility for the company's steps and can lose entire investment as well as the personal assets. That is the main disadvantages of the sole proprietorship. Next type of business you can start is partnerships. When two or more persons joining together, and according to the deed, when they start a business, that business is called as partnerships, owned by two or more people. So that is legally bindable. So based on the partnership deed, it is legally bindable. So the examples are law firms, medical practices, auto baby repairs. There are many. When two or more persons join together, that is called as partnerships. According to the deed, they share the profit or loss. Advantage is relatively easy to start compared to corporation. It is easy to start, and it is easier to obtain capital than in the sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship, only one person can bring the investment, whereas here two or more persons are bringing the money. So the capital is more than the sole proprietorships. So partners share their skills and talents. So each has different skills. The skills can be shared, and partners share the risk also. So these are the advantages of the partnership. The disadvantages of partnership is an agreement needed to start. So based on the agreement only, they start the business. So anything goes beyond the agreement, then that is an unlawful act. Then partners might not get along well. Partners must share the profits, and the partnership must be recognized if one partner quits, reorganized if one partner is quits. So when the life of the one partner ends, then automatically the partnership deed cancels. So again, you have to reorganize the partnership firm. And then partners share the unlimited liability. Again, like the sole proprietorship, partnership also, the main disadvantage is unlimited liability. So unlimited liability means the loss what you are acquiring, that loss, again, it is beyond the business, the personal assets also liable. So all partners share the responsibility of bad decisions made by one partner, including the debts. So the type of business, first we have seen sole proprietor, that is only one person through his investments start a business, is called sole proprietorship. When two or more persons brings the capital and shared the profit or loss according to the agreement, that is called as partnership. Next one is corporation. So it is owned by many people, but is treated as by law as one person. Men may come, men may go. The company may exist forever. So that is, they can own property, pay taxes, make contacts. So according to the law, corporation is an artificial person. The advantages of corporations are corporations can raise money by selling the stocks. So here the capital are divided into shares. So in the share market, through share market, any volunteers who are ready to buy the share becomes the partner of, becomes the member of the corporations. Here the advantage is limited liability, whereas in sole proprietorship and partnership, the liability is unlimited, whereas in corporation, when you are investing in corporation, your liability is limited, which means that what amount you are invested in the share, only that amount, when the company incurs loss, only that share value amount will be you are losing. The other thing, your private assets are not liable for that loss. So that is called as limited liability. So stockholders can only lose what they have invested. Beyond that, they cannot take any your private assets also. Next one is corporation continues when stockholders sell the stocks. Even the shareholders who sells the stock of the business, even though they sells, some other persons buys that stock, the corporation will continue. Men may come, men may go, the company will live forever. The corporation can always make money by selling more stocks. These are the advantages of corporations. So the examples of IBM, Nike, Google. So these are the different examples of corporations. The disadvantages of corporations are taxed on their profits. So government closely regulate the corporations. It is more difficult to start a corporation. So there are more legal formalities and procedures. You have to get approval from the SEBI, and many legal bureaucratic rules and regulations are there. So all those things you have to come across while starting the corporations. You must obtain corporate charter from the state which the headquarter is regulated. So the third type of business we can start is the corporations. So here the people voluntarily join together to form a business is called as corporations. Next one is, today you can see many franchise organizations. So franchise is a contractual agreement to sell company's product or services in a specific geographical area. So the company, for example, McDonald's. So McDonald's is an American brand. If you want to start a business in your hometown, you get the franchise, but the products, design, logo, everything will be given by the parent company. You have to sell the goods and services. So that is called as franchise. Example, McDonald, Blockbuster, Alcobel. So these are the different organizations where we can see the franchise. It is a contractual agreement to sell company's product or services in a only to a specific geographical area. So the advantages are easy to start. Franchise can rely on good name and expertise of the parent company, and the franchise can get needed guidance in operating from the business from the franchisor. So the advantage of it is easy to start. It gets all the ideas and the operating guidance from the franchisor. So they rely only on the good name and expertise of the parent company. Then the disadvantages are some franchises are strict about how the business is to run, and they give you all the guidelines. Only according to the guidelines you have to run the business. The franchise is limited in what product or services, only to the product what they are producing, only to that product we have to sell. We cannot sell the other company's products. And franchise must operate like every other franchisee. So these are some disadvantages of franchise. So now we have seen the different type of business, how we can, different types of business if you want to start. So only one person want to start, we can start a sole proprietorship, that is called a sole proprietorship, and two or more persons, then that is called as partnership. When there is unlimited numbers, when you join that, then you can go for the corporate, and the type of business is franchise. It is a contractual agreement to sell the company's product or services in a specific geographical area. Okay, so these are the types of business. Now we can see the how the business are classified according to the profit and non-profit and making of goods and services are on both. First of business, profit making business. So they only look for the profit. The main aim is to earn more profit. The aim is to maximize the wealth of the organization. So for profit only they run the business. The main motive is to making the profit, earn more revenue than expenses, and produce and distribute goods and services based on the consumers' demand and wants. Only based upon the consumers' demands and wants, they produce the goods and services and distribute them. So only then they can earn more profits. Example, Apple Computers, Sony, Domino Pizza, The Gap. So these are some examples of business that only run to make profit. The other type of business is non-profit making business. Even though it is named as non-profit making business, they usually run to make a profit, at least to run the organizational needs. They keep some meager profits. Can earn a profit, but cannot be run for a sole purpose of earning the profit. The profit must be used to benefits for the purpose of the organization. The non-profit business organization also keeps some profit, but the profit is to meet the organizational needs and cannot be run for the financial gain of the members or directors. The main aim is not the financial gain of the members or the directors, and the donors' contributions are tax deductible. The examples are American Red Cross, Meals on Wheels, homeless shelters. So these are some examples of non-profit making business. And the service business, they only provide services rather than goods. Service oriented business. Some service business meets the needs of the medical clinics and law firms. Some service business provide wants, that is taxi companies, ISPs, example. So the examples are barber shops, dry cleaners, copy and print shops, car repair shops. Okay, so they rather than provide the goods, they only provide services. This type of business organization are called as service business. And then the next type of business is product business. They sell the goods to consumers and other business. They produce the goods and sell the goods. So they are the retailers and distributors are product services, product businesses. Example are Old Navy, CD stores, Best Buy, Dick's Sporting Goods. So they sell the products to the consumers and other business. That type of business is called as product business. And the other type of business are combinations of product and services. Some business produce both goods and services. They sell the product and provide the services. These are the combination of product and service business. Examples are automobile dealerships, hair salons, appliance stores. These are some examples. Okay, so far we have seen what is business, what are the purpose of business, what are the types of business, and what are the classifications of business. The purpose of this seminar is to give an overall picture about what is business. Next we are going to see what is marketing. So marketing is the process of developing, promoting, and distributing products to satisfy the consumer needs and wants. So the main purpose of marketing is the process of developing, promoting, and distributing the products to satisfy the consumer needs and wants. So here in marketing, they first identify the needs and wants of the customers, and after identifying, they will satisfy the customer needs and wants. For that, they have to develop a process of promoting and distributing the products. So the 4 P's of marketing are price, product, promotion, and place. All these looks at one aim, that is the target market. The 4 P's of marketing are price, product, promotion, and place. So this is called as marketing mix. The marketing mix consists of 4 P's. Marketing strategy are known as the 4 P's. First one is product, promotion, place, and price. So the 4 P's are explained here. First one is the products. Is there any demand for product or services? Then how to make the product and appeal to the customer, and packaging include design, color, size, and brand names. So product always involves the product name, that is the brand name, the design, logo, color, size, everything includes in the packing. And first you have to find, is there any demand for our product or services, and then how you are going to make the product appeal to the customer. So after producing the product, you have to make the promotion, that is the advertisement. So we have to inform about our product to the ultimate consumer. For that we are using the promotional techniques. So making the customer aware of the product through advertising, coupons, rebates, sales, free giveaways, and publicity. So these are the media through which we are promoting the products. Next one is the place, that is the distribution of products. So distribution is getting the right product to the right place at the right time, at the right amount, and at the right condition. So that is the main aim of distributing the goods, that is the place. Then about where we are going to store storage, and what is our warehousing technique and transporting logistic techniques. Next one, the price of the product. How much are customers willing to pay for our product? Is there any price competitiveness with other products? Can the company make profits? So these are the things which you have to consider while pricing the products. Pricing is an important strategy in the marketing. So these are the things included in the marketing mix. Next, we are going to move into the product. So product includes, already I have said that we have brand name. So we have to keep the company name in mind, so that when you are moving forward to make a company, so first you have to consider the company name. So creating a company name is the success of any business. So creating company name takes some through, but it is one of the most important thing you will do during the process of starting a company. So first, when you want to start a company, first you have to choose the company name. So how do you create a winning company name? So get together for a company name in brainstorming session. Many company names are incorporated into a logo. Work through these 5 rules for choosing a company name. So when you want to create a company name, so almost company name can be incorporated into one logo also. So you have to keep in mind 5 rules while choosing a company name. So these are the different company names. First one, rule 1 is a company name has to be a memorable but easy to spell. Memorable, it should be memorable, and it should also be easy to spell it. Next one, a winning company name needs a visual element. So the look of that logo or the design of the company name should be a visual element. And then a company name should have a positive connotations. And then company name include information about what your company does. And company name has to be fairly short. So these are the things you have to keep in mind while choosing a company name. It should be easy to spell, and it should need a visual element. It should have a positive connotation, and should include information about what your company does, and has to be fairly short. So these are the things while you have to choosing a company name. Next one, logo. So logo and company names are the trademark of the organization. The word logo means a name or a symbol or a trademark designed for a company recognition. So a logo is a graphical representation of the company. It consists of symbols, illustrations, or graphic print design. The logo should attract attention. It produces a first impression of your products. So now you look at the different logos, the Disney logo, Coca-Cola logo, NBA logo, Toyota logo, so the Starbucks logo. So this logo, while designing a logo, the name can be a name or a symbol or a trademark. Disney, here it is a name. So the other is a polar bear. It is a symbol, and then it should be easily recognized, and it can be a graphical representation of the company. So it can be a graphic or a print design. It should attract attention. It should produce the first impression of the product. So while creating your company name and logo, now have to keep keep in mind the 5 principles of effective logo design. So the logo design should be a simple one, and it should be a memorable one, and it should be timeless. It should be versatile, and it should be appropriate. Next one is our target market. So we have seen business, and then seen marketing, and we have seen the company name. How should we create the company name? How should we create the logo? Now the target markets. To whom we are producing the product? Who is our customer? That is the target market. So according to based upon our product only, we can fix the target market. So a specific group of consumers at which a company aims its products and services is called as target markets. Whom we are aiming, who is our customer, who is going to buy our product or services. That particular consumer are called as the target market. The target customers are those who are most likely to buy from you. So target customers means those consumers who are most likely to buy your product is called as target market. So you can how to identify target market means ask some of these questions when you are identifying the target market. One is are your both target customers are male or female or both. Either it is a male or a female or both is our target customer. Then how old they are. So either they belong to children's group or baby category or teenage category is less than 30 to 20, more than 22, less than 30 years. So we have to fix the age group of the people. And where do they live? So geography, limited factors for any reasons. So geographical target market will be is also there. And what do they do for a living? And how much money do they make? This is most significant if you are selling relatively expensive or luxury items. So for the premium customers. So premium people, that is the rich people. So if you are targeting rich people, how much they are ready to spend on the products. So the luxury products for BMW, Audi car. So they are targeting only the rich people. And what other aspects of their lives matter. If you are launching a roof tiling services, your target customers probably buy our own homes, and what they are willing to pay for your products. So while fixing the target market, you have to fix the customer. So whether male, female, or both, and they're according to the standard of living. So they belong to which standard of living? Either they are looking at the poor people or middle class or rich people, whom we are targeting. How much they will be affordable to pay our products. These are things you have to consider while fixing the target market for our product. Next thing, you are going to see the the business, that is the advertising. So now the target market survey is complete and you are ready to create an advertisement. So why do companies advertise? Means to promote their products or services. So that is they inform about the products or they can remind the product. So for that purpose only they are giving the advertisement. There are many forms of advertisement including newspaper, magazine, TV, radio, billboards, flyers, webs, etc. So many different medias. All those medias are we are using for advertising only to inform or remind the about our product or services. After analyzing your target market survey, you can have to create an advertisement aimed to our customer. Next, creating an advertisement. Catchy slogans and great form of advertisements. Slogans, that will be a great form of that. Then while creating advertisements, you have to first look at the slogans. That slogan should be a catchy slogan. Next, logo can also be used as an advertisement. An advertisement need to catch the interest of the target market, the desire for the customers to buy the product. Okay, so next we are going to see about the print advertisement. So while we're going for a print advertisement, you have to create an advertisement for your products in Microsoft Office or Publisher or Word. And we have to refer to the 4 P's of the marketing mix. Use words and graphics to identify and explain how the products fits into the 4 P's. And this paper size include a picture of your product on the poster, and it should include your company name, logo, and slogans. And use the print ad rubric for the guidelines. Next, we are going for the commercial. So create a commercial advertising for the product. Your commercial should be only 1 minute long and maybe videotape. This will be presented in front of the class. Okay, so this is about marketing. Next, we are moving to the next. We are going to explore entrepreneurship. Before going to know entrepreneurship, you have to know who is an entrepreneur, who is an entrepreneur. So entrepreneur are the people that notice opportunities and take initiative to mobilize resources to make goods or services. So entrepreneur is a person. He himself takes the opportunities, notes the opportunities, and take the initiative steps to mobilize the resources to produce the goods and services. Whereas the entrepreneur, on the other hand, is also notice opportunities and take initiative to mobilize resources. However, they work in the large companies. Entrepreneur, he himself notice and they take initiative, whereas entrepreneur are the person who works in some other organization. On behalf of the organization, he noticed the opportunities and take initiative to mobilize resources. However, they work in the large companies and contribute to the innovation of that firm is called as entrepreneur. So entrepreneur, that is the difference. Entrepreneur is the person who works in some other companies and takes the opportunities. As entrepreneur, he himself notices the opportunities and take initiative to produce goods or services. So most probably, entrepreneur often becomes the entrepreneur. So what is an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is an individual who undertakes the risk associated with creating, organizing, and owning the business. So entrepreneur doesn't take any risk, whereas the entrepreneur takes the risk associated with the creating, organizing of and owning a business. So it takes all the risk and rewards of that business. So common traits of the entrepreneur are: he is an original thinker, he takes the risk and takes the responsibility for our own actions, feel competent and capable, and he set goals and enjoys working towards them. And he is self-employed parents. He's a firstborn, between 30 to 50 years of old, well-educated. 80% have college degrees and 1/3 have a graduate degree level. So these are some common traits of the entrepreneur. So who is a successful entrepreneur, who is an unsuccessful entrepreneur. So when you want to become a successful entrepreneur, you should have some traits, that is, they should be creative and innovative. So innovative skills are most important for a successful entrepreneur. He positions themselves in shifting or new markets. He creates new products, he creates new process, and he creates the new delivery systems. All these new product, new process, new delivery system means that innovation in products, innovation in process, innovation in delivery. That innovation makes the entrepreneur more successful. So when a big entrepreneur becomes unsuccessful means he becomes a poor manager, when he have low work ethics, who is insufficient, he doesn't have the skill to prepare a plan, and where he is a poor money manager, then he will become an unsuccessful entrepreneur. So the characteristics of successful entrepreneur. So recall all personal characteristics and skills needed for a successful entrepreneur. The key characteristics are key personal attributes, strong managerial competencies, good technical skills. These are the some characteristics of the good entrepreneur. Personal characteristics of a successful entrepreneur. Persistent, and he is creative, he is responsible, he is inquisitive, he is a goal-oriented, he is an independent, he is a self-confident person, and he is a risk taker. And skills needed by the successful entrepreneur: you should have a good communication skill, you should have good human relation skill, math skill, problem solving skill and decision making skills, technical skills, and the basic business skills. So these are the different skills needed for the entrepreneur, that is communication skill, human resource skill, math skill, problem solving, decision making skill, technical skill, and basic business skills. What is the difference between entrepreneurship and entrepreneur? Entrepreneurship is the process of starting and running own business. This involves considerable amount of risk. It is called as entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur is an individual who undertake the risk associated with the creating, organizing, and owning a business. So entrepreneurship means process of starting and running own business, whereas entrepreneur is an individual who takes the risk associated with creating, organizing, and owning a business. So these are the entrepreneurial processes. To understand the entrepreneurship and the entrepreneurial process, there are 5 steps. The 5 steps in the entrepreneurial process are discover, concept development, resourcing, actualization, and harvesting. So these are the 5 steps involved in the entrepreneurships. First stage is discover. The stage in which the entrepreneur generates ideas. The first stage of the entrepreneurship process is to generate ideas, and they have to recognize the opportunities and studies the markets. So first you have to discover the ideas, recognize the opportunities, and so have to study the market. So the entrepreneur consider the following: one is hobbies or skills, consumer needs and wants. They conduct surveys and questionnaires and study demographics. So through which they have to discover the ideas. Next one is concept development. They prepare the following in this step: develop the business plan and choose the location for the business. Decide if the idea will need a patent or a trademark. So under the development of business plan, a detailed proposal describing the business idea should be proposed, and then while choosing the location of the business, if the business is online or it does have physical location for customers to visit, purchase the products, services, or combinations. And then if the product needs patent or trademarks, so what is needed, whether it is a patent or trademark. Next, third stage is resourcing, the stage in which the entrepreneur identifies and acquires the financial, human, and capital resources needed for the venture capital. The first stage is discovering stage. Next stage is the concept development stage. Third stage is the resourcing stage. So here He develops or identifies, acquires the financial and human capital resources needed for the venture startup, etc. The entrepreneurs contemplate the following: one, identify the potential investors who will invest in our company. So where we are going to mobilize the resources for the company, whether by our own finance or through parents, friends, or through loans or from any financial assistance organizations or hiring employees. And the fourth stage is the actualization stage. So in this stage, in which entrepreneur operates the business and utilize the resources to achieve the goals and objectives. Here the entrepreneur prepares the following. One is the grand opening of the business and day-to-day operations of the business. And step 5 is the harvesting. In the stage in which entrepreneur decides the venture, future growth and development and dismiss. So first stage is the discover stage. So here the ideas are developed, recognize opportunities, market. Next stage is concept development. So business plan, location, patent and trademark is decided. And then third stage is resource stage, to mobilize the financial resources and human resources for the business. And then actualization stage is about the operation and utilization of resources towards the goals. And the harvesting stage is the decide venture future growth and development and dismiss. So here the future plans of the business, expansion, additional location, company to change the structure. So these are the things you have to keep in mind in the process of entrepreneurship. Next one is the starting a business. Understand the procedures and requirements for starting a business. For start a business, first you have to develop the business plan, acquire finance, and meet the legal requirements. First stage in starting a business is developing the business plan. So a business plan is a detailed proposal that describes the new business. The new business ideas has to be detailedly planned, which includes presented to potential investors and lenders, and most business plans are 30 plus pages. Next one is the purpose of the business plan. Is used to obtain finance, helps to organize and analyze the data to critical to new business, and provides the startup proposals. So while obtaining the finance, we have to look for the where we are going to obtain the finance. That is, banks, potential lenders require a business plan, and to provide a startup proposal provides an outline to follow when starting the business. So the components of business plan are executive summary, product and service plan, management, team plan. So in the executive summary, it's a brief of 1 to 2 page description of the key points of each section of the business plan. As the product or service plan includes the present products or services being offered, unique features of the product or services, and the third one is the management of team plan. Here you have to tell about the qualification of the entrepreneur, qualification of any partners who may be involved in the business venture. And then the industry market analysis. Here we are analyzing the customer, competition, industry, demographic, geographic, and economic data. These are things you have to analyze. And then you have to go into the operation plans. Includes all processes involved in producing or delivering the product or services to the customers. And the sixth stage of the business plan is organizational plan, managed by the philosophy of the business, key management personnel, and the employee and policies have to be detailed in the organizational plan. Next, the marketing plan. So it describes about the business, make its customers aware of its products or services. And the marketing plan, here to tell about the market being served, marketing strategies, promotional plan, marketing budgets. These are the things which you have to keep in mind while preparing the marketing plan. Next one is the growth plan, presents the plan for future expansion of the business. And then financial plan is the statement, financial statements that will forecast and future financial health of the business. Okay, so these are the components of the business plans. And finance the business. So here we have to identify the potential investors. So the examples are families or friends or other business or other employees, and contractual financial agencies for loans, grants, financial assistance, that is from the small business administrations or banks or credit unions and insurance companies. And finally, you have to keep in mind about the legal environment of the business. So that is the additional legal requirements that are required to start a business. That is permits, certificates or license, contracts, journal laws and taxes. So these are the legal environment. So for the permits, certificates and the license, an official document giving someone authorization to run their business under the extension directions of the local, state or federal laws. So according to the local and federal laws which are pertaining to that particular business, we have to get the permits, certificates and license, and contracts, a written or a spoken agreement especially on concerning the employment of sales or tendency that is intended to be enforceable by law. And then you have to consider the zoning laws, that is specifically the areas in which residential, industrial, recreational and commercial activities may take place. So the zoning laws, different zones have different laws. So the industrial area, in commercial area, we cannot start the industry. Taxes, enforced contribution of funds to a state revenue levied by the government on workers' income and business profits, or added to the cost of some goods, services, and taxes. The tax, which nowadays we have the CGST, SGST tax. So these are the taxes that contribute to the particular product. Okay, last thing, protecting our business. To protect our business, and in order to maintain our business secrecy, we have to protect our business. For that, we need trademarks, patents, and copyrights. So the trademarks protects the business name and logo, whereas patents protects the invention of product or processes from theft, whereas the copyrights protects the creative works, literacy, musical, dramatic, artistic works. So, okay, so these are things you have to keep in mind while to maintain the secrecy of the business. To protect the business name and logo, you have to go for a trademark. To protect the invention of product or services, you have to go for patents, and to protect the creative work, you have to go for the copyrights. Okay, thank you. Any doubt? Queries? Okay.
Good evening to all. First of all, I thank our management for arranging this wonderful program, and also I thank our resource person, Mr. Jaykumar sir, for his valuable information about the entrepreneurship. And thank you to our participants of each and every department, all the heads of the department and faculty members. Thank you to all. Thank you, sir. Thank you, students, for your valuable time for this program.